are we going?
Wait, are we gonna go rock climbing?
To the cave.
I thought that's what it was. I thought it was rock climbing. I thought this was rock climbing. Whoa, what's in here?
Someone got that way.
Let's go, wait. Did I do your phone? Okay, guys, are y'all ready? Yes. Okay, well, as you're walking up this hill, be careful. It is a little wet, and there's a handrail on your left. Thank you. All right, y'all, so this room is called Soda Straw Balcony, and that is because of all the beautiful soda straws on the ceiling. Soda straws formed from a compound called calcite. Everyone say calcite.
Calcite.
Very good. This forms after it rains. Water mixes with the soil and picks up carbon dioxide and forms calcite. It piles up, and these soda straws are all hollow on the inside. So you could literally break it off the ceiling and drink a soda out of it. When calcite begins to deposit on the inside of the soda straw, they end up getting clogged and they grow from the outside. They're thicker, and those are what we call stalactites. Everyone say stalactites.
Stalactites.
A good way to remember these is that they hang tightly to the ceiling. When calcite drips and deposits on the ground, you get stalagmites. Everyone say stalagmites.
Stalactites.
A good way to remember these is that they might reach the ceiling one day. When a stalactite and a stalagmite meet, you get a column. If everyone sees this blue light in the back, anytime we see a blue light today, that's going to indicate that the cave extends at least another 50 feet in that direction, anywhere from 50 feet to a mile. If anyone feels a drop of water hit them throughout our tour today, that's called a cave kiss, and we consider those to be 7 years of good luck. But everyone, touch the temptation stone, get all your temptations out, and let's keep walking. It's like wet over here.
Oh, awesome. It's wet. I just stepped in water. I hate water.
Scene. But over here, this is called a drapery column. This top part is formed from cave drapery, and this bottom part is a stalagmite. They have grown together. This is very rare. This is actually the only one we have in our whole entire cave. It's made out of calcite, which I was talking about earlier, which is kind of why it looks white and a little bit sparkly sometimes. But we have a nickname for this formation. We call it our Texas size chip and dip. Okay, so in this room, this is called our first formation room, and that's because these two columns right here were actually our first formations in the cave. We call these our broomstick columns because we think they look like broomsticks, but they estimate that our cave was formed about 25 million years ago. So, if you look over here, this is a stalactite and a stalagmite, and they're about ½ an inch apart from each other. We call them our kissing column. So if you want to come back and see when they've actually grown together to form a column, be back here in 50 years. It takes these formations about 50 years to grow ½ an inch. Okay, so y'all, this room is called our discovery room, and that is because it was the first room to be discovered. Right, and this room is where I'm going to give you a brief history about our cave and how we found it. So, millions of years ago, there were 5 natural openings in the form of sinkholes. So this is just a big hole in the ground that leads to our cave. This was around the time of the Ice Age and after that, and that's how we found all of our animal remains in the cave. So these sinkholes all closed up naturally, and now they look like big piles of dirt, and I'll be able to show you some later on in our tour. After that, there were no entrances into the cave. So we had no idea that this cave was here. That is until they were putting up the highway I-35. They were drilling some core samples to see if the ground would be sturdy enough in order to support the highway. But when they were drilling these core samples, they kept losing their pieces because they knew that something was down here. They just weren't sure what. But if you keep walking with me, I'll show you what their next step was. think it looks like sand dunes, like upside down. I've also heard it looks like an ocean, and that's actually because this ceiling was formed from water, and waves crashing into the ceiling and eroding the dolomite. Now, if you remember, dolomite is that really absorbed rock I was talking about earlier. So we know that these waves had to be hitting at a very fast pace for a long period of time in order to erode the ceiling and make it look like this. In this corner, there was actually a whirlpool. So you had a whirlpool going one direction, you had a big body of water going another direction, and that is how the press room was formed. Over here we have some more of that flint I was talking about. Here is another core sample that they drilled, and we actually do have our first bat right there. So look, it's about the size of a chicken nugget. They're super cute.
It's a bat.
Yeah, I know.
A minute ago, I was trying to ask you a question. Did you see those? Did you see those like kind of light things? That are those actually one of those overheads that came or that got hit by sand or anything?
The lights weren't there. We put them in.
Yeah, I know, but did it get over? Did it get like rusted and stop working or?
If the lights aren't working, the bulb could be dead. Probably.
And there's another thing that I
Okay.
say.
What?
Do you know that rock that cut in half? Are they selling them in the shop?
No, we don't sell anything from our cave. It's actually illegal to take anything out of the cave. Come back here. Let me show you my favorite, okay? This is a baby mammoth tooth. Look at how big it is.
Holy smoke.
Exactly. Okay, y'all, so this room is called our lunar landscape, and that's because when they first discovered the cave in '63, we have here, I see the Little Mermaid Ariel, and she is riding on her friend the dolphin. They're swimming really fast because they are trying to get away from Jaws. But don't worry, Jaws is not after them. Jaws is actually after this corn dog. Here we have a piece of bacon, a butterfly made out of bacon, and right here we have E.T.'s finger. There's actually a light behind that rock, and that's just to show you that calcite makes the rocks translucent, and it does look like it's glowing. All the way in the back we have another sinkhole, and if you would all turn around, this is a separate sinkhole. This one we think was formed from a cave-in because of these big boulders over here. One of my favorite things about this room, if you look over to your right, is right up here, and it's these soda straws. They're really long, and I think they look like spaghetti, and they're awesome, but yeah. Any questions? You see a battleship? Lots of people see battleships. Okay, no. You can tell we're kind of getting out of our ridiculous drought because over last summer there was no water in this big pool at all, so it looks a lot prettier with water in it. We're all 70 feet below the Earth's surface right now. Our cave does go 100 feet, but we're not going to go back there today. There's also a 98% humidity in this room. I'm sure you can all feel it. I know my hair can feel it.
Ooh, it feels like Texas.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, y'all, but feel free to take your pictures. Yes. Why is it spreading? It's because there's cave kisses falling and making this big pool of water. Yeah. I know, it's because cave kisses are falling on it. Do you have a question? Why does it look... Okay, let me show you. not spraying out water. Cave kisses are falling on it, making it grow. Okay. No, we already did it. I'm only allowed to do it once.